Hello everyone, welcome to your lecture on stratification, images of inequality in media. This lecture is a part of your paper on gender, media and society. This lecture will help you understand the debates and discussions on the gender stereotyping in media and how it is undergoing a change with the change in media. Media in general has a strong effect on our feelings as entity and as an associate of a global civilization that it is continuously shelling us with messages. Every individual in modern society comes in contact of media in their everyday lives, and this is what we call the golden age of technology. When the capabilities of internet were first explored, it was believed that cyberspace would be free from discrimination in terms of gender, race, sex, ethnicity and sexual orientation. But identity issues are present in the virtual world as much as in real world. Therefore, it is well demonstrated that the egalitarian promise of the web has not yet been realized. Hence, we are here to challenge its ability to function as the great equalizer. Victoria Proin de Francisco in 2007 stressed on that. The social media is only one of the several depictions of the internet as an environment hostile to women, and hence it is increasingly under scrutiny. Discrimination in terms of gender attributes can contribute to the worst form of oppression today. The concepts of gender and sex form an important nexus of power and are often used to exercise social control in the context of patriarchal paradigm. Media and gender. Gender, as we know, is an evolving concept. In the broader canvas of society, gender is evolving as an individual's identity as well as in the notion of a larger culture. The discipline of gender is not merely a set of observations based on the roles of women as portrayed by the media. It is rather an attempt to put forth the catastrophe of media pretense on women in the context of theoretical and socio-political sphere that is emerging in the discipline of communication. According to the conflict theory, its theorists uphold that there is a continuous fight among people for authority and assets. If the impact of media upon gender inequality is viewed upon in this regard, the dominance of sustained gender biasness is explicated. The theorists debate that gender equality is a consequence from male domination of output, means and measured persecution of women via social establishments. They asserted that men, as contrary to women, often grasp positions of aristocratic power, according to D. Kendall in the year 2004. Hence, in order to uphold the controlled society, women are depicted in a downgraded manner by the elite men. Lisa Salicki, theorist, states that since women have been severely contemplated by the outmoded observation of technology, the relationship between women and that of technology has always been an uneasy one. She further added that in many cases the symbolic representation of technology reproduces the stereotype of women and technologically ignorant and inept ones. The implication here is that the recent developments in media, communication technology and information pose a threat to women and challenge their skills to adapt to a technological innovation, according to Pamela Abbott in the year 1990. In an increasingly technologically driven society, there exists a further threat that women can become the more marginalized section, which might lead to disempowerment. On the other hand, this evolution of cyber feminism can lead to what Salicki calls technology as empowerment. The unconcealed domination of women by the media is incorporated by society and hence prolonged into more generations further. The expansive prejudice against women is not just limited to the society offline, but has unrolled into the online sphere as well. Sexism is the submission of one sex, particularly female, grounded on the presumed dominance of another sex, according to Kendall, again in the year 2004. How the complete woman is made up to look is also dictated by the media, particularly at present times when the regular individual is addicted to networking sites of social media, where so accordingly is conveyed by the social media should be scrutinized by an accuracy and precarious detail. Our goal is to propose different levels of examination to converse possible reasons to social media disparities. By separating topics in the social media matters on gender equality with these viewpoints, its impact on sexism becomes perceptible. Media depiction of gender. There is stereotypical representation of men and women in media. Men are mostly portrayed as active, adventurous, powerful, sexually aggressive, and in most cases uninvolved in human relationships. On the contrary, women are portrayed as sex objects who in most of the cases are young, thin, beautiful, play a passive role, dependent on men, incompetent and dumb. The primary energy for a female is devoted to taking care of her looks and the household, which is wood. Television programming mostly depict men as serious, confident, powerful, competent and in high positions. Gentleness in men, which was evident for a short while in the 1970s, have receded to the background, and established male characters are now portrayed to be tough and distant from others. Stereotypical representation of women in media is widely prevalent and percolates widely into the news shows as well. Female newscasters are expected to be young, more physically attractive than men, and less outspoken compared to males. Media has also created the image of the good woman and a bad woman. Good women are mostly pretty, differential, focus mostly on home, family, and take care of others. Subordinate to men, they are portrayed as mostly victims, angels, martyrs, and loyal wives. The bad woman is hard, cold, and aggressive, according to Wood. The media in general depict public life as a male domain, and the active roles played by women in present times are ignored. The traditional role that has been assigned to women is no longer appropriate in present times, and media needs to reflect more on the changed scenario. An in-depth analysis of European Union reveals that voices of women in media are underrepresented. In Europe, only 10% of the news stories have women as central characters. This low representation is not limited only to news, but goes far beyond. Among main television characters, only 32% are females. Women athletes are devoted only 2 to 9% of television airtime. Migrant women, elderly women, lesbians, and disabled women receive even lesser coverage. Women politicians covered in news amount to only 10% of the coverage. According to a UK-based organization, EVES, highly sexualized images of young women and girls are prevalent across all the media, which includes mainstream television and public advertising. In the content analysis of 2 national dailies of India, it has been observed that more weightage is given to stories which deal with violence against women. Achievement stories of women are not given proper attention. All the time, women are portrayed as subordinate to men who are harassed and molested. While it is a reality that violence against women are increasing every day and media needs to project the reality, there are a number of individuals, organizations and institutions which are working for the betterment of women. Media hardly provides for such stories, according to Sahu and Alam and their research which was conducted in the year 2013. Media have a tendency to portray women of authority and power as unfeminine. The woman of authority is portrayed as one who is negligent towards her duties at home. Television serials tend to paint ambitious career women as greedy, while an ambitious man is projected as a go-getter. It appears that media has reservations in projecting women as successful, professional, politician, leader or a serious partner in the decision-making process. Gender stereotypes are reinforced in media when there are advertisements like that of Fair and Lovely, where a woman is shown using this cream to become a cricket commentator. The Indian media is somewhere comfortable in showing women to be homemakers and a compulsive buyer. According to Sharda, and her research was conducted in the year 2014. Concentration of media ownership and near monopolistic role of social media also has a negative role to play when it comes to gender equality. The concentration of ownership and deregulation has led to more circulation of sexist images of women and sexualization of women and girls. Media cultivates certain gender roles. Objectification of the female body is one of the stereotyped gender roles that media promotes. Market strategy dictates the sexualization of pop culture artists. Advertisement, music and fashion promotions are taking verbal and visual cues from pornographic content. Thus, pornification has entered mainstream culture. Gender in cyberspace. The digital divide at the domestic level is disseminated further in the digital world, according to Miller, and his research was conducted in the year 2011. The media is a tool of advancing on the traditions and cultures of gender roles. The social media transfers these ingrained, decadent roles and morals of gender. Even though the internet does not lead to the conduct that embodies women, it permits the conduct to be observed in an enormous international community. Here, the sexually unrestrained materials are not highlighted. Instead, upon the humiliation it causes, therefore showing less support in conveying equivalent position to them, according to Dill in the year 2009. There is no escape from media today. Just like all forms of media, the cyberspace too is an important area for communication, leading to a different kind of social relation. Cultural theorist Sadie Plant believes that this might lead to a wider scope for gender experimentation in this field. According to Plant, cyberfeminism is information technology as a fluid attack. It flows, breach the boundaries between man and machine. Cyberfeminism is simply the acknowledgement that patriarchy is doomed. Although Plant believed that inequalities are eradicated and traditional identities and stereotypes are denied in the computer culture, others debate that such systematic dissimilarities relocate from actual public life into the virtual reality world we experience online. The casual self-regulation of the history of the internet and its widespread liberal streak cannot warranty the perpetuating gender inequality, according to L. Miller and his research that was conducted in 1995. We would examine how gender roles provide a foundation for the intensification of social control of women online and assess the scope of the freedom. Internet usage. Internet, providing an alternate media platform, has come up with new possibilities. However, a closer look at internet advertising reveals that advertisers have concentrated more on the visual appeal of women to attract the attention of the potential consumers. Women get recognition for their lovely body or faceless selected body parts. When a face appears in advertisements, in most of the cases it is friendly and attractive, but scarcely show achievement or success. This perhaps stems from the way male wants to look and view the images of women. Sensuality is associated with women's bodies. The Indian population comprising of women is nearly 50%. It is for the sake of majority of the country to promote an explanation to the testing problem of prejudice on social media. Therefore, it must be the concern of the entire population to precisely epitomize women in the social media, which is now the major mode of communication. Information is strength, and disregarding women from governance and the process of politics in general has resulted into both the reason and result of sluggish advancement of Indian women. According to Sharma, the research was conducted in the year 2003. Exact depiction of all women in every divisions of media and addressing out intolerant representation of women and education can counter the damaging contents of which community is exposed. Another way to remove social media's gender inequality attack is by educating boys at an early age in phrases understandable to that of a child. Such steps shall effectively eradicate gender equality from the offline as well as online domain, creating a beneficial change in the society. A socially savvy generation and well-revealed people is the foundation for a social insurrection. To conclude and to sum up this lecture, we learned that TRP-driven media industry has to think beyond business to play a pivotal role in promoting gender equality and breaking social stereotypes. The image of the bad woman and the good woman needs to change. Portrayal of women in various roles which are breaking the stereotypes needs to be promoted. Gender stereotyping of males also needs to be addressed. Media must think beyond associating men with masculinity and aggressive behavior. Social media is providing an alternate platform to many to express their viewpoints. While near monopolistic trends in social media are a problem, when it comes to objectification of women, there is still scope for alternative ideas to thrive over social media platforms. As media reflect the moods of the society in which it operates, a growing awareness for gender equality and proper portrayal of women among masses will compel them to think afresh on the way they portray gender issues. The situation is gradually changing in the present times, with a lot of research and discussion happening on the problems arising out of gender stratification. However, a lot more needs to be done, and media needs a lot of introspection. The power of media to transmit messages is all pervading. This power that media enjoys has to be used to its optimum potential to bring a racial change in the prevailing scenario. Hope you enjoyed this lecture. For more details, please read the e-text of this lecture properly and attempt the questions in the end. Thank you.